welcome back to Coffee Infused Crypto. Today we have good news, we have bad news, we have to be careful. It's a mix of things, so make sure to stay to the end. Grab your cups of coffee, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the like, and let's dive into a quick market update. So guys, in case you, as you can see that I shared this on my Twitter, and this is the Twitter account. So if you haven't followed me there, so make sure you do, because I do share some stuff and market updates from on daily basis, and definitely depending on how volatile the market is, how frequent the updates would be. So that is the handle, and you can find it on YouTube as well, the link. So make sure you follow me there. To put this out of the way now, I've shared this on Twitter a couple of hours back, and if you want to know how we set up these structures, we had supports and resistances, and this is an asymmetrical triangle, so it has a 50-50 chance of breaking. And as for those two blue lines, those are the daily high and low. So if you go to the daily, you can clearly see the previous candles high and low, those represented, so I can keep track on a lower time frame. So as you can see, today we've been trading between this range, and we have had this touch here at the top, and then another touch here, and then a third touch here, a fourth, fifth, and you know, and at the bottom side supported at this area, and this area. So technically this squeezed into the last bits of it, and I'm not convinced of this breakout, because guys, look at this, the volume is very, very low. So look at this is like non-existent. So it's very easy, the market is easily manipulated with low volume. So that's why I wouldn't recommend anyone to over leverage or to trade at all at weekends, and be very, very careful, because the market is all about fear, uncertainty, and doubt now, with all the bankings collapsing one after another, and the choking of the money flow from and of crypto, you know. So there's a lot going on. But I have some good news. It's not all doom and gloom, but to stay in the lower time frame for now, as you can see that we have technically broken to the upside, but that's not the technical target. So at least I would have you know, expected us to go all the way up here, but we weren't supported by the volume, and that's a big deal. So and now see, this is a weak breakout, so this is like gonna trade sideways maybe, and then maybe dip over. We need volume to continue, but on the lower time frame we're still supported by this trend line, and we're gonna monitor and see. Nothing much is happening. So yeah, maybe some people are freaking out. We dipped here, we came back here. This is a Bard Simpson shape that is very well known in the market. So yeah, we recovered, and then we're, you know, as the volume's going down, as we are just moving down with it. But if we go on a higher time frame and on the weekly, the things doesn't look that, you know, bad. If you look, like last week we had this massive green candle, and this week it's gonna be like a tiny retracement of a candle, and most probably, if nothing happened between in the next 48 hours, most probably we'd be closing at in a tiny red candle. So this is still very, you know, very bullish. We have our lows here, higher lows here, and now higher lows here, and we're creating higher highs and higher highs as we progress. So on a higher time frame, we're still looking good. And as you can see now, I'm gonna focus on two moving averages, exponential moving averages. But before that, as you notice here, we took this high, right? We're moving systematically up. So that we had our high here, so we took it at this area, right? We moved above it, then took this high, right? So here we moved above that high as well, came back down, retest this high, failed, came back, retested this high, and then pushed above both of them, and then systematically took the third high and interacted here, again came back down, retested all three, retested this pattern, and moved up. So far we've taken 1, 2, 3 highs, and now we're battling this area, this high, this area here. And why is this line so important, this white line? Why are we stuck at this white line? Well, if we just zoom a little bit out to the outside and have a general look to see what is this white line. This white line is, as we said yesterday, here, and yeah, and here, accumulation here. So this white line has supported us on different occasions on a macro level, and thus it will resist us on a, at the first attempt. So I'm expecting a battle here. So we need volumes, we need confidence, but worst case scenario, we're still, and now we go into the moving averages, the exponential moving averages. I have the 100 in green and the 200 in red. So as you notice, this is the green one and it's around here. So it's supporting our weekly candle. So this is the weekly exponential 100 moving average. And in case, let's say, so we are supported by this ascending broadening wedge. Like if you can see, this is the wedge here, up and down. So we broke it to the upside on the weekly. We're supported by it and by the 100 weekly exponential moving average. So if we fail this wedge and this 100 moving average, my next point of interest would be retracing down to the 200 week moving average, supported by this high again. So we're gonna go back maybe, and this is the first point of interest, and this would be at 25,207. So even if that happens, we're still good, because that would be us going down, retesting our previous support now, which was resistance, our previous high, and maybe do something like this and maybe go. We would still be creating our higher lows. So that is not a problem even on the macro scale. So keep in mind, guys, current level. So our resistance is around 29,000, the white line, or 28,700, and support is the first support, the 100, where we are at the moment, which is supported by the 100 weekly, and the lower one would be 25,207. That would be my expectations of a high and low in the next week. So the 200 weekly moving average, we go to the daily and use the 200 and the 100 daily exponential moving average. I want to show you, like we've discussed where we are. We've like a little bit uncertain, the market is uncertain, but we have some good news. So this is very important. This is another signal that flashed 4 times. 5 is an exception. The 5th was an exception, and I'll tell you about it in a few. But so far, we've just this signal flashed 4 times, and it has 100% accuracy as well. So if you see this area, that we have the 100 exponential moving average crossing the 200 right at this moment. So finally, on the daily, we have this cross. So this has happened 4 times before, as I said, and we're gonna go back and check where on the daily this has happened before, and I have marked them so that we don't take a lot of time. And if we go back here, there you go. So the last time we crossed it was in 2020, and this is the cross. So look at this, guys. We crossed it at this area right here, and we were prepped to going up, but this was a black swan event, and we ended up crashing COVID. And then a couple of days, maybe this is like a month maybe or something, let me check. So from this crash, let's say from this crash here to around this area, it took us around 66 days. So this is like 2 months, and then we crossed it again and confirmed our uptrend. So this here after the black swan event ended in 2 months, so this delayed us 2 months, and this was the run, which was the bull market of 2020-2021. So that was one incident. And one before it is 2019. This is where we crossed it, 100, crossing the 200, and again right after that we had this massive run to the upside. And let's go even further back and check. This is another incident here. If you see at 2015, this is when we crossed it as well. And if you notice, like we stay, like when it crosses, it tends to stay for the whole entirety of the bull market. So we crossed it here, and yeah, I mean, this was the end result. And you can see this was the run, the bull run of 2015. And even before that, the last time we crossed it was around this area, 2012. So yeah, crossed it to the upside, green crossing, and that was the result of it. So 4 times, and the fifth was the correction of this black swan event. So now we are at this area, guys. So now we have crossed it. So it's like I've been mentioning one sign after another for the past 2 weeks now. So all of those are getting in line, but definitely they are accompanied by a lot of fear, a lot of FUD, a lot of uncertainty in the market. But the signs keep on showing, and we keep on accumulating. And look at this. This is very bullish. Like we on a daily pattern, like we have a huge potential moves to the upside, and then we rest for a while, consolidate sideways, and rest to cool down our metrics. So this is still very bullish even on the daily, and we've seen on the weekly, and we've had this crossing here, which we reviewed now. This is as well a very, very bullish sign. So on the macro, for the upcoming weeks to come and months to come, we are solid. We might have a black swan event just like the one we had when we had COVID. Yeah, that's probable. Maybe which would delay us a month or two, maybe come back, retest this area, this legacy trend line. Maybe yes, but even if we did, just note that usually this is a month or two, and that happened only once with a major thing like COVID hitting the whole globe. So even on the monthly, we're just looking, this is, this chart, guys, we've discussed it many times. So even on the monthly, there we are, still moving just as expected after breaking this white support resistance, and now acted as support, retesting it, and we're printing one green candle, two green candle on the monthly. Here we had like 1-2 green candles and resting here, and then 4-5 months to the upside. Here we had 3 consecutive green months after breaking this consolidation or this support. Here we had 3 consecutive months. So and yeah, I mean you're seeing the pattern on the monthly. We're still having a very, very good green months. So and we're like a week before closing this monthly candle, and that is like we're on track. We're just like we had our blue box, we have it, and we have our blue line, and we're tracking this, and we're still very bullish on the monthly. So guys, stay safe. That's very important. Again, the volume is very low on the week in this week, and that's due to many people are not being able to transfer from banks in certain areas to transfer money, and some are having fears, and the whole vibe and the whole sentiment. And we're even on the lower time frames below the 50 on the RSI. So yeah, I would be extra cautious and avoid trading altogether in weekends, and wait till Monday, because again, DXY, as we expected and as we said earlier, the XY was heading towards this parallel channel, lost this support around the white line, and went back, tested the middle way of this parallel channel, came back and closed. Look, where did it close, guys? Closed the week getting rejected by this, what was support, now resistance. So we want to wait and see how this would open next week. Would it break it to the upside and retest this area, or would it confirm a rejection and go down to the parallel channel. And as you know, Bitcoin will react in opposite to what we see on the dollar index. Even on the traditional market and the S&P 500, after getting rejected or retraced back to the parallel channel here, look at this green wick, how tall it is, went all the way down last day, retested, and then got bought up. So ended the week in a bullish hammer candle, which is very bullish, got bought back up. And I'm interested to see how the next week would open, and if it would proceed moving forward from there, because as a reminder, on the macro scale, that's our situation with the traditional market. Inverse head and shoulders, as you can see here, inverse head and shoulders, breakout, came back, retest once, twice, three times this white line, and now we're having this green candle on the weekly, which closed, and we want to see the next week where we would open. So our next levels would be either support of this white or blue parallel channel and white line below it, maybe go back down there, or resistances would be at 4,129 dotted white line first target, second target 4,214 second dotted white line. So those will be determined by the opening of the next week, and of course Bitcoin until then will most probably keep on trading sideways, maybe go up till the daily, maybe come back down to the close to the lower part, orange box here. So it's gonna do some minimal moves without any decisions or major decisions until we see how would the market open, or if we had some, I don't know, some very bearish or bullish news between now and tomorrow. Remember, low volume means a lot of people with big, like a considerate amount of volume or money can affect the market. So you don't need that much. When you have lower volume, markets can be manipulated and affected easily. So we have to wait and see, but again, some doom and gloom on the short term, but some really bullish triggers on the bigger time frames. So stay positive, always look at the macro image, and it is looking bright. Patience will pay off in the markets. So that was everything for today, guys. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. That helps the channel. Hit the like button, leave a comment if you felt like asking anything. I always read all of them. Stay safe and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.